Okay, and we're live. Welcome. Happy Friday to you all. And if you haven't met me or know me, I am Kat Trelinos, the founder, CEO, and visionary of Tada by Kat Next Level Staging and Design here in the Houston area. And we try to seek out and connect with wonderful guests, such as my current guest. I'm going to introduce you to her in a minute here, that have nuggets of information that they are passionate about to share with you, whether you're a home seller, a home dweller, an apartment renter. If you live somewhere, in a dwelling, we're going to bring you, our goal is to bring you topics that have a broad range. Today, I am really specifically honored to have Miss Cadi Torres, who I've known for about 6 years now, join me. She is a professional photographer, business owner, visionary CEO, and she is going to share some tips. We have several talking points, but the main one, if you've seen it on our template, is the importance of professional staging. I'm sorry, not staging. My bad. Professional, but it starts with staging. We'll get into that. Professional photography versus amateur. Now, we have some great phones now, but we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the nuances and why you might want to reconsider having professional photography as opposed to amateur. Before we get into that, welcome, Cadi. Thank you so much. And it's so nice seeing you after quite a few years, connecting email and projects and so forth. We've worked on a ton of projects with our projects with Cadi's company, Iconic Images. I don't think I mentioned that, Iconic Images, and they are iconic and making big headlines throughout the northern Houston area. Cadi, share with our folks a little bit about how you were inspired and passionate to get into the business of real estate photography.
Well, thanks, Kat, for having me on. It
Absolutely.
is to see you and be able to kind of come on and share. It started probably about close to 6 years ago. I was actually working for a larger real estate company in the area that had, I was just surrounded by business owners all day, every day, day in, day out, just saw, and helped coach people growing their own businesses, things of that nature. And I've actually been in the real estate industry probably close to 10 years now, doing marketing, advertising, things of that.
She started when she was 7.
Yes. No, but I've been in, I have a super soft spot for it. I've always loved the marketing, advertising side of it. The creative side, I've always been kind of more on the creative, but I also love business as well. So there's the two halves of me. But once I was kind of around the energy all the time and just saw it, you just get this little itch that you want something more, you want, to achieve more, do better things, do greater things. And so slowly, I think I just kind of started formulating that in my mind and brain and talking to, my fellow colleagues and leadership and everything like that. And got to a point where I thought, okay, I can do this. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be yet. I know I wanted to branch off on my own. And so in doing that, I really saw a need for the photography aspect in the real estate industry. People are constantly looking for photography. People have, agents will get super busy and they are not able to juggle everything at once. So they need a really dependable person to be able to call on and count on and don't
depend on.
Just get there,
Yep.
And so I was always happy to fill that spot. And, I started asking a few of my close agents, hey, do you mind if I shoot your next listing? Can we do this? Can we do that? And the amount of support that I was able to get with those relationships that I had already established, and always wanting to do more, to do a better job, really kind of came to fruition over the next couple of months. And I held my full-time job, but I was also doing this part-time. And then my full-time job kind of got in the way because it's kind
of segued.
Yes, it did. And so I broke off and I went on my own, hit the ground running, constantly learning as I went. And then probably within the year, I had to start hiring and bringing on, and then really start building the team. And 6 years later, here we are. We've got a great team. I've actually stepped out of that shooting role, and we just
and now you're managing and doing the marketing. And it's funny that you mentioned, that your side, like the creative as well as the marketing. I think I kind of consider myself that as well. I have a pretty deep marketing background, and I'm creative. And I think some people who start a business, no matter what it is, they have the creative side, but they're really clueless on how to market. We used to have a saying back in advertising days. I'm going to date myself. Yellow page advertising days. If someone said, "Well, I know you probably don't know what that is, Katie." Well, I don't have a budget, for advertising, and my comeback would be, you're kind of like the person who winks in the dark. They know they did it, but nobody else does.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you have, what you're trying to sell, whether it's a pizza or a house or a mansion. You got to get it out there, and you got to tell people you have it. So I love that. I think that symbiotic talent that you were inherent, and anybody can learn it and develop it. The marketing and the creative side, are a perfect pair, because really and truly, real estate photography, along with staging, it's marketing. It's the most strategic and powerful marketing tool that you can apply when trying to sell real estate. And we're going to back into, home prep, because that happens before, of course, the phenomenal photography. But let's dive into our main topic, Katie, and that is, because some folks might think today, oh gosh, homes are selling so fast. I mean, I know that I don't need to stage. I can just take pictures with my iPhone, which, we've got fabulous iPhones, no doubt. I mean, I take some marketing shots, and they've even got apps that can do wide angle. I'm sure you've heard that.
Oh, for sure. I have a phone like that.
Yeah. So, can you? You might be, you can, but Katie, I'm going to address this to you. Tell us, the importance of pro photography versus doing it with your fabulous iPhone.
Well, one of the highest comments that we receive all the time is that, we really have the eye for it. And that's not just, one of those simple things that you just pass off to somebody. It is literally true.
I so resonate with that. I don't know if you know, but we just branched off to a division of Tada by Cat, and that's called Cat's Eye and Decor. You're going to see that when you photograph the restaurant that we did. But because my team through the years would always say, Cat's got an eye. Cat's eye. So it just stuck with me. So what does that mean? What does that mean?
That means
you have an eye.
Yeah, Kat, I could go buy a million pieces of furniture, but am I going to know where to put them in a home and how to do it? Absolutely not. I can't.
So it's a vision. And I think what people see in your photography with you and your team is that you have this creative vision. You're not going in and doing cookie cutter, linear photography. And it takes that eye of balance, color, dimension. Have I missed anything? Because I know staging transcends to photography.
It does. They have their obvious differences, but when I walk into a home, or when my people walk into a home, a lot of things homeowners and agents might be worried about is like the cleanliness of a home, things like that. To us, that doesn't matter. We look at spaces. We look at how things are laid out. We look at being able to show that home in the best light possible. And I think that kind of makes the biggest difference. You can send a photographer in, they can take photos, they can come out pretty, but is it really showing what, it's intended to show? So that's
and let me piggyback off that, because, we used to have a saying in new home building, and that is no home is perfect, especially when we were building, no home's perfect because no tree is perfect. I think all trees are perfect, but they're what I call wabi-sabi. They're perfectly imperfect. Right. But that being said, no home or home plan is perfect. There is usually something that's challenging. I used to equate it to, again, eons ago, I used to be back in Southern California, a personal shopper, clothing shopper for professional women. And, when you're putting together a look for someone, everybody has a different body type. You're looking to accentuate the positive and minimize the negative. Mm-hmm. And isn't that the same when you're shooting spaces?
Yeah. Exactly
so that eye that your team has, they have to quickly evaluate a space that may be challenging and photograph it with lighting angles, et cetera, in a complementary way to show off those beautiful features of the home and minimize the negative. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. It's definitely not a one size fits all.
Yeah. And I think that's definitely, you hit the nail on the head in terms of what sets you guys apart. And, any great photography service is having that eye to quickly assess that. That's really good. So let's go back to, we've digressed a little. Let's go back to maybe 2 or 3 things why you want to use a professional photographer as opposed to, and again, I know there's realtors out there who are going, homes are selling in a minute. I have a response to that for, why they don't want to stage, and we see it all the time, where we're getting them, thousands of dollars more because it's staged and photographed well.
Right.
So to me, I'm sorry if I offend any realtors out there, but if you're not doing that, sometimes it's, sometimes your seller is a pushback, but sometimes can it be that you're just lazy? Right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh no.
Doing
sign up, somebody else will sell it, collect my check, and that's going to go into, we're going to talk about branding, home prep and branding, but branding is a critical talking point on this. If you are a realtor, obviously not a home seller, show me the, where is it? Show me the money. We're going to show you the money. We're going to get you more money if you stage it and photograph it amazingly. And that's going to be more commission also for you, the realtor.
For sure.
So I guess I've gone into a couple of, kind of jumped on is there something that I didn't mention that it's a pro and con, why you would want to professionally do it as opposed to, just save the money and photograph it yourself?
Well, that does kind of go into the next talking point of branding. And so if it's your portfolio, as an agent, you're showing your portfolio to potential home sellers, potential clients. And that is literally, you have a record of everything you're selling. So if you've got, even if you've already sold the property, it's still going into your
portfolio
history. And so if you've got all these terrible photos and someone looks you up one day and they're like, oh, I really want to sell my house. What are they going to do for me? And they see all of these, it's not the best impression. It's not the best thing. So it is all about that brand. And so by doing,
I really want to emphasize that because I know even more so the statistics because of the real estate market right now have probably gone past the 85% mark. But a few years ago, the number was 85% of realtors are part-time. I don't know how many. I would venture to say there's a huge percentage now that are less than 6 months or less than 12 months a realtor. Mm-hmm. So, everybody has to start somewhere. We all started somewhere in the beginning of whatever business we're in. But this is something for you to think about. I know in the beginning of anything, it's like you're just so glad to get it. But you really want to think, if you want to be in the business for longevity, as Cadi said, to really think about your branding and your portfolio. Because if not, what happens is let's just say you go with, I'm not even going to say a low end because we stage and photograph a lot of low end flips because they know the power of the visual emotional connection and how they can get more money. But from a commission standpoint, you might think, oh, you start off with something low end, and if you just keep at that low base, you're never up leveling to where you can work smarter and make more money, because you're elevating, as Katie says, your portfolio. Would you agree with that, Katie?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's just like if you were to put out, not that great marketing. If we were to put out not that great marketing, nobody's really that's not selling anything. That's not selling your product the way that it should be. It's the exact same thing in agent marketing and agent branding. That is your brand. That is your marketing. It's out there for everyone to see. And
it's your first impression. I don't know about you. You might have started out. I mean, I look back when I do training with my team, I show them some of my early 6 years ago early stuff.
I feel so bad for some of the people that I shot for in the beginning.
I go, so guys, I didn't start off with, $300,000 of inventory. This is where we started. You do with what you have, but you learn as you go. And then you look and you go, ooh, hit or miss. Ooh, that's a miss.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's okay. We're always trying to do better and be better. We all have to start somewhere. But if you're new and listening to this, I can't, stress enough, again, as a realtor, talking to our realtor partners, that your branding and your image is really important, because that's what people, especially new people, are, making their decisions on. I'm going to say judging. Yeah, we're judging. We're always judging. And that's what we're making our decision on, is really just, what does it look like, right? How is it presented? How is their portfolio? Absolutely. So let's, was there anything else on the branding that you wanted to touch on before we go to the client photographer relationship?
No, I don't think so.
I think we covered that pretty well. That branding is so important. And I mean, we just did for my husband's childhood home, staged it. I mean, under 200,000, staged gorgeously, and I know I hear phenomenal numbers out there in different parts of the country, 200,000 over list and this and that. We're in that area, older neighborhood, to get 15,000 over list.
Wow.
And it's about 40,000 more than the last, is incredible. And I know because they wanted to buy all the furniture. I'm like, well, with the supply chain the way it is right now, I can't give up too much.
Yeah.
Right. But staging works, and amazing photography works as well. I'm pretty sure you guys did that one. Yes, you did.
Did we? I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, you did. You did. Okay, so enough on that. Let's talk about another talking point that you shared, and that is talk about the importance of the client photographer relationship. And what does that mean, Katie?
So you have your seasoned agents, you have people that have been in the business, they know what they want. They are business all the way, and all they care about is having a good product. Well, the other half of what we're super known for is our customer service and just being personable with people. So, me having the soft spot that I do for new agents coming into the business, people who are trying to build their businesses up, I always take that extra 5 to 10 minutes to talk them through whatever they may be going through. And that's important to people, that they can feel, make that relationship. So it's not just with me, it's with our team, it's with all of our photographers, it's with, our admin. And it's very important for agents to have a connection with who they're working with. So our client photographer relationships, we have it on our website that you can choose which one you want. And we see a lot of the same agents choosing a lot of the same photographers, just because they have that established relationship. They have a great time. That photographer knows what that agent is looking for. And, they hit the nail on the head every single time.
I love that. I personally leave it up, and I have to say, every one of their photographers are amazing. So,
Yes, they are. They're all great.
They're all great. Yeah.
It's that personality too
Yeah. Are you a fit? We encourage that with our design clients. Let's do a complimentary. In fact, I have one after we leave this call, a complimentary get to know you discovery call to see if we're a fit. To see if there's a connection and a vibe. Because it's personal. You're going to be helping them express, how they want to feel and live, whether it's in a commercial office or a home. So, it is all about connection, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And that's great that you have that open door, and even on your website, that folks can, but I particularly like that for new agents. Sometimes as anything, when you're new at something, you feel, I don't really know everything I should, and I'm going to sound stupid, and I don't know what to ask for, and so on and so forth. And Cadi's team, and office is open to, saying, well, what do you think I need? What do you think I should go for? Because they have so many different packages. Sometimes I had a recent one. I'm not sure if you guys did this one or were available, but they sold it so quick. It sat on the market on the stage for, 30, 40 days, which is a long time today.
Right.
And we came in and did what we call mixed media, brought in, zhuzhed it up, brought in some what I call power pieces. They got a contract immediately and didn't even retake pictures.
Wow.
So we didn't have it. I didn't have it for my portfolio. So I sent out a photographer. I think you guys were not available. And, just for a minimal fee, so I could get those main rooms in the portfolio.
Right.
And I know you guys do that too. You'll create packages that fit, whether it's just for a photo shoot or an Airbnb or a full-on lifestyle video, or commercial and residential. You're the full service deal, and I like that.
Yeah,
the one-stop shop, iconic images, guys.
We try to make everybody happy.
Now she's gonna get so busy she won't have time for me. So anything else on that topic, Cadi, on the client relationship?
I don't think so. We just love our people. We want everybody happy, and so far it's pretty good. You attract who you work with, and I think that we work with some really good people, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I truly believe that. Yeah, that you connect with your what I'm coining now, your soul tribe.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah. You don't need all the business. Quite honestly, you don't want it all.
No.
You match with it. It makes life easier and more joyful.
It does.
Yeah.
Blissful. That's what we want.
Yep. So your last talking point was home prep. And, I could talk about that, but I want to hear your take and really, maybe some things that you and your team, like, dislike, find annoying, find wonderful. But just in that whole topic of home prep, Cadi, what's some conversation you'd like to share with us on home prep as it relates to professional photography?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to invite everyone to the website to download a free home prep sheet for the next listing.
Nice.
But no, it is so important. In a perfect world, everyone that goes online will, download one of those lists, give it to their client, schedule us when everything's ready. So we go and the house is perfectly either staged, lights on, fans off, blinds open, everything in its place, all the boxes hidden, all the pet related items gone, just everything prim and proper the way that it should be, so that when we get there, we can go do our walkthrough, assess, give pointers, things like that. We shoot it, everything comes out great, and then everybody's happy. It's not always like that. So
no,
it's not. So when we do,
don't get me started on that. Yeah.
But when we do get there, and I understand both sides of it too.
Sure.
Maybe an agent didn't do their due diligence and go to the house prior and guide that homeowner the way that they were supposed to. So the homeowner's kind of relying on us to do it, which, we're pretty busy. We have, back-to-back appointments in a day. So we try to make as much time as possible to go in there and do our walkthrough, let the homeowners know, while also taking time to shoot what we can. But it's just a lot more efficient if everything is done prior.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was not aware you had a sheet. I'm going to have to download that and tweak it and come up with I have a what to do before showings, and our staging, whether it's occupied, typically occupied, is we have a consultation prior to. So we give them a punch list. I'm sure it's probably similar to what yours is, but we give them a punch list that needs to be, they can do as little as much as they want. We can't force them to spend money or paint when they don't want to.
Right.
I let clients know the more you do, the better chance you have of not someone coming in and lowballing you because they see a honey-do list. And unfortunately, and I've said this many times, let's say, there's a really bright wall or room, or terrible carpet, the realtor that says, yeah, we'll just give them a credit. It doesn't really work that way, because if someone does fall in love with the home, they're going to say, well, yeah, okay, but we're going to offer $5,000 less, when it might have cost you $1,000 or $500 to paint the room, or $2,000 for a carpet. So you're tearing up equity that way. People don't buy what they don't see, and that prep, as you mentioned, that prep is so critical. To prep the home. Before you come out.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. So, well, that's the end of our topics here. I can't see if there's any questions, because we're streaming on 2 sites right now, but we'll go back if there are any questions and answer them after the fact. This is going to be posted within about 48 hours to our YouTube channel. Jeff will post the YouTube channel. Y'all can go on there. I believe this is our 42nd episode. So you're our 42nd guest, and just some great tips, Cadi. I really appreciate you sharing with our audience, whether they're selling now. What happened? We lost you. Well, I lost you, Cadi. Hopefully you'll jump back on. I want to thank Cadi for joining us. It was so nice to see her kind of virtual in person after quite a few years. Let's see, we can jump her back on here. Let's see, add to stream. There you go.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on with you.
I'm like, okay, goodbye.
I wasn't leaving that early.
I was like, whoa, she's gone.
Sorry.
So I don't know if I heard you, but Cadi, and that's Caddi, by the way.
Cadi.
Yeah, what is it?
Cadi.
Oh, Cadi. Oh, I put 2 Ds. My bad. Oh, there it is, right there. Cadi.
Okay.
Yeah, Cadi from Iconic Images. If you're in the Houston area, I think you primarily do the north side, right, Cadi? Because I think the first time I called you years ago, there was a travel fee, which now I understand. Being in business, yeah, you got to charge a travel fee if you're going to go inside the Loop or Pearland or wherever.
We have all that online. We have our travel maps. We have, everything you need. Full transparency.
And that's what I love. Yeah, the marketing side of Cadi, she's really got it together. Go on her website, iconicimages.com. Or is it
Iconic? TX.
TX, that's right. TX. We are in Texas here. .com. Check out her website. If you're an agent, pull down that home prep sheet. It's really going to up-level your organization and what you bring to the table for your sellers, showing them that you're on top of the game, giving them tools to help, set them up to maximize their dollars. Because trust me, I see it every week in my staging and design business. Just having it put up and because there's not a lot of inventory, getting above asking. How much more can you get above asking if you have great photos and it's staged properly? I'm going to give a little plug for Ta-Da by Cat. We're really excited. We've purchased a Transit and had it wrapped the last couple of months, and we've been going crazy doing what I call mixed media. So let's say you're trying to sell your home when you're living in it, which is can be a daunting experience, kind of what I call living in a fishbowl. We can help ease your pain and come in, give you some professional tips on what you need to do with a consultation and follow up with what I call power pieces. We fill up our van with artwork, some faux botanicals, some for guest rooms, bedding and Euro pillows, etc. We turn it into a model home using your stuff, adding our inventory, and it just makes a huge difference. We're seeing successes all over Houston. And if you'd like more information, give me a call at 281-798-3750. Again, thank you so much, Cadi. You and I are going to stay on afterwards to chat about some services that I need of yours coming up. As usual, stay hopeful, stay positive, and stay connected. And we thank you for connecting with me and Cadi today, and have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully we'll have some dry weather here in Houston. Wherever you are in the country, make it a beautiful weekend. And we'll see you next week with an amazing guest that we have lined up on a totally different topic. So stay tuned.